Greetings, most honorable listeners and masters of the martial arts. I am Travis.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Big Los.
And this is CTE, and this is going to be an experience for y'all. So this is so laid back and in anticipation of what drops on, I think, this Friday. I'll go ahead and let Jermaine talk.
Came a long way. We sitting on top of this. This can go one of two ways. It can go up. It can go down. Either way, I'm prepared.
It's a real laid back week.
Feel me? Yeah. I be coming in peace before me. Best beware the others is deep. Undercovers creep. This southern heat make them bearable. Summer just last week. Seen your mama weep. Crying cause she don't want to bury your brother. The blood leaks while the EMTs gotta carry her baby like surrogate mothers. Whoa. Thank God we survived around with a terrorist. Suffered though traumatized, wouldn't trade it for nothing through hard times. It was there I discovered a hustle and making the best out of struggle. I kept grinding to the stay up a level, respect mine. Gotta stay out of trouble cause tech nines like the air I rebuttals. Cold world, knowing what it is. Just in case they don't, I show them what it is. Then summer, I do real numbers, couldn't dare touch it if they sold a double disc.
CTE world, that's what it is, people. That's pretty much what it is.
He said that's a cold world.
Yeah, it's cold world. All right, first things first. How was your Mother's Day weekend?
No. Hold on. Tell my first things first. We are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour. Let everybody know what the deal is.
Yes, still on May 29th.
What? May what?
May 29th.
Now is it at 6 or 7, Trav?
VFT 8. VFT 8 coming up. May 29th. Make sure you guys get y'all tickets. We are that's about 2 weeks away.
2 weeks out.
Something like that. Yeah, 2 weeks away from now will be the actual fight week. So we had Romani and Brandon on last week, and they were telling everybody, like, they're getting ready for Jamal and
Brian. They
Brian, yeah.
They coming for you.
They coming to bust heads, people. So can't wait for that. Yes, thank you for that, Chris. Thank you for that.
Oh, absolutely, my brother. But now on to our fantastic Mother's Day weekend.
Yes. How was your guys' fantastic Mother's Day weekend? Did you guys make cards with your kids? Did y'all actually? Your kids kind of old now. No. Los, you still got a young one. You got a real young one.
Yeah, I mean, they made a lot of stuff from school they had for us. So, my son just kept pulling stuff out of the bag. I'm like, dude, there's more. He's like, yeah, we did something every day. So every day he had something for every day that he was in school last week. So it was good. Man. We had a good time. We did breakfast and then we went out to dinner that last night. Got to see my mom, which is good. That's pretty much it.
It's awesome. Yeah, that's it. Real low key, same kind of thing. Yeah. Kids did school stuff. We did some projects at the dojo. Yeah, it really did. It felt like it snuck up. Like, oh man, like vividly remembering on like Thursday, like, oh man, that's this Sunday. Oh wow.
Yeah, I had a lady she was like, hey, so what you doing on Sunday? I'm like, I don't know. My daughter's got a baseball game. My son's got a baseball game. my other daughter's got a soccer game. It's like, you're doing all that on Mother's Day? I was like, oh yeah, it is Mother's Day. This was like on Tuesday or something like that. Like already in my head, I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, Sunday we got this game, we got that game, we got this, we got that.
I'm shocked they didn't cancel those games, like because it's Mother's Day. They just like, we have.
You know how much they canceled last year?
Right, they're not canceling nothing.
You know how much we love you. You know how much mothers would rather be with their kids at a game or an event. You know what I mean? Like just enjoying that time. I know my wife really appreciated being out there with the kids. So
I was about to say no, I don't know that. I don't know that.
You don't. That is true, but you will.
One
day I will. Other than that, all right, Chris. Let's go hear about yours.
Same kind of thing, man. We did the family thing. We hung out. Malachi did stuff at school. We did some stuff here at the dojo, projects for our dojo kids' moms throughout the week. So we did the same thing I did the same thing with our kids for Katie and everything. But it was real low key. I made dinner. We didn't go out. I made dinner and stuff. It was steaks, what my wife likes.
That's the whole point of it.
Usually I do like a cookie cake and stuff, but she said, not this year, sir. We got goals. So I said, okay, we do what we want.
Said steak, what?
I usually do like a cookie cake for her. Like, that's like her favorite thing. But she said, don't get me one of those this year. I got goals I got to reach. So cookie cake is out. I said, okay, we'll do steak and veggies. Let's get it.
Respect.
Yeah.
Right. So it kind of threw me off. I was like,
What
like
about
this,
me?
this, and this. Yeah.
I got goals too.
I got goals, but I can crush them while running an extra mile.
Yeah, let me get that cookie cake. Throw it on in there.
Yeah.
I just got a little thing of ice cream for me though, so it worked out.
How about you,
Mother's
T-Rap?
Day, you got a little thing of ice cream for you yourself?
Yeah. Why can't I? If it wasn't for me, she wouldn't be a mother. I'm not saying that's more important. I'm just saying I get a little something on the side. I get a little something on the side. That was my ice cream.
Okay.
I said it. What's up?
I got nothing to do with this. Hey.
Yeah, see, Chris, man, you say out loud what people be thinking sometimes.
I know. That's why it's an experience for you and you at home too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quiet on this one. I have nothing to say about this stuff.
It takes nothing away from the amazing job that they do. Absolutely nothing.
But without
Nothing.
you, Chris, they wouldn't be mama.
I mean, without a daddy, it wouldn't have it couldn't be a mama. I'm just saying. Just like us on Daddy's Day, if it wasn't for them, we couldn't be a daddy.
Well, you ain't getting nothing on Father's Day.
Since when do we get stuff on Father's Day anyway? We get an ugly tie.
Yeah,
Socks.
exactly.
Socks. That shirt that I said like 9 months ago that I was like, oh man, that would be kind of cool. Like, wait, that was like, it's all good though.
She bought it, held on to it. I'm gonna this for Father's Day. This is gonna be a gift. We're not gonna we gonna hold on to
This
this.
is gonna be a real gift.
That's what it is.
Crazy.
You know it. I don't. You know me. I don't care.
All
How
right.
about you, Kraft?
What'd you do?
I this weekend.
Yeah.
Nothing really.
Was that video up? Your mom's down in Atlanta with you? She's up.
No, she's in Florida right now. They have the condo in Florida, so they go down there. But my mom is still in Florida. My dad flew back already. He's back in Detroit. He wanted to go back for some reason. It's like 30 degrees there. I don't understand why he went back, but so he's back there. And so I called my mom and talked to her for about like an hour or so, and just talk with her about just life in general. And then I made some dinner. I tried something this weekend.
Yeah.
Paella. Tried to make paella.
Ooh, how did it come
Never
out?
made it before.
Don't look confused. Don't look confused. We ate that in Costa Rica.
Did we?
That's the big bowl with all the rice and all the stuff that was in the big pot. That paella.
Yeah. I was making that.
That's right. Yeah, that was
I had to remind you. You look confused. So Trav, how'd it turn out, man?
I
I
put the shrimp in a little too early.
Okay.
So it got a little overcooked. The shrimp got a little overcooked, and I did something I shouldn't have done. I put some mussels in there, but so it gave it more of a seafoody taste, and I'm not a big seafood person. So for me, it's just like
getting kicked in the face by the ocean didn't really help you out.
Yeah, so I was a little upset about it. I was like, I'm just gonna put it in because it looked cool when you got all that stuff in there, and I was like, yeah, it looked cool, but I probably shouldn't have did that.
You got to eat what you like.
Yeah. So I was challenged to try and make it. So I sat back and said, all right, I'm gonna say if I can make it. So
dang. Yeah, I was gonna say who challenged you?
It's not important who challenged me.
You said it. You can't say I was challenged and not say who challenged you.
Like, a friend of mine, she challenged me. Well, she just kind of said that was her favorite, and I was like, okay. And she just kind of
yeah, I get you. That's
so I gotta practice it first before I serve it to somebody.
Right,
you know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
I gotta get the practice in real quick. So know exactly what I want to put in there and how I make it my own little special dish. So, but other than that, I think it's gonna turn out well. I'll probably make it again, probably the next couple weeks, a couple more times, and then see how things go. But other than that, rest of that, just chilling.
Sounds good.
I don't think I did anything. Yeah, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. But yeah. All right, Chris. Let's get a rundown of all the stuff that happened in sport karate this week, and with the sport karate news breakdown.
All right, so in Florida,
about it right now. I should have had something queued up already.
USA Sport Karate, Orlando. John Cortolo was the winner of the overall grands for men's fighting. Here's the Lily Allen from where's she from? She's from South Carolina, right? She's on Team Legend. Okay. She looked like she won her divisions. That's about the only faces that I know. And then we had ATL Sport Karate. Dustin Shavonic and Tony Young put on a tournament, and we had Danny Auberger as the women's overall grand champion.
What up, Danny?
And Jalen Lazenby wins the men's overall grand champion. Teammate TL in the house. Danny.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, I guess I did. So I did do something. Oh, that's what I forgot to say about what happened this week. My back was messed up. Like seriously, like I couldn't move. Like I was working out Tuesday morning, and it just went straight out. I dropped the weight, fell down. I was just laying there. Like I had to crawl up the stairs. So I canceled some meetings. Like I was in pain Tuesday. And Wednesday and Thursday, it got better. But then Friday, it got like super bad. So I had to call Jermon, and Jay came and picked me up. I was like, yo, Jay, I got to go to urgent care. And then they gave me some medicine to I guess, they said it was just a muscle spasm in the upper lat. And I was like, this does not feel the same. They were like, nah, sometimes people get them bad. So that was pretty much my week. I didn't really get a chance to do anything. I just had to relax. So like Saturday was the first day I actually got up and walked, and I felt better and went out to lunch. But that was pretty much that was pretty much my week. And so I had a conversation with Jay about some stuff. I guess I don't know if I'm supposed to say what he did or what was supposed to be coming up at the battle.
Oh no, not yet.
I can't say. Okay, all right. I'll wait.
Not yet. But yeah, I knew about that too.
I heard. Okay.
Oh,
can't say nothing right now. But yeah,
there's a couple other ones too that are.
I figured that. I figured that when he told me that, I figured there would be some other ones. So it's going to be interesting to see how it's a whole new shift, I guess, in dynamic. But we'll see what ends up happening. What they're trying to do.
I told you though. I told you that was what it was.
I mean, that's the logical thing for them to do. They have to do it this way. Hey, look, we talking in circles in code and like
right. So I just was like, that's all right.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna say anything.
Just say a couple more things. I'll pull it out. I'll be like, hey, is it this? keep talking like that. I'm gonna ask the question because I'm not in the loop, so I'm just gonna be like, is it this?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say
I'm
anything.
putting
I'm
3 or
gonna
6
leave it
together,
alone.
and I'm getting 9, so I might be close.
Right.
Still an odd number, but I might be close.
Nah, it's always good when it's a 6 or a 9, bro. You're good to go.
Here we go. Anyway, but yeah, I was gonna ask, did you go to the tournament? Because Jay was there. I know he was at Tony.
Yeah, he was there. I didn't not get a chance to go to the tournament this weekend. I had a ton of stuff going on at the school and with the family. So like I got a reminder from Mr. Young on like Thursday night, and I was like, oh man. But yeah. So unfortunately I didn't get to make it this weekend.
Yeah, I knew about it, but I didn't go out there, and because for one, I had already had plans, and two, my back. Well, I didn't want to chance it by standing up all day at a karate tournament, because like that was literally the first day I can walk. Like
if you sit in that chair judging, because you'd have got caught up in the judging.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, my back would have been gone in 20 minutes. I'd have been like, all right, I got to be out of here.
I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna put his heating pack on. I'm gonna kick my feet up in this chair.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, this is crazy. Anyway, anything else? Any other thing in karate news?
Over the weekend, no. What the world? Rich, you all right over there?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm trying things out. All right, go ahead.
Wow. But I mean, the other notable thing that I've seen is we got a sport karate athlete crossing over again and competing in the amateur Muay Thai ranks.
Yes.
Blake Spence has his second bantamweight, what's a 135 Muay Thai fight. May 15th in Chattanooga, Tennessee. He's fighting Jake Phillips. And I hope Jake has some sort of angle game or understanding of how that sidekick is going to work. I hope he watched.
Probably not.
If not, it's going to be a very, I would say, easy night in Muay Thai for the long-legged Mr. Spence. I wish him well.
Hopefully so. Hopefully, good luck this weekend, Blake, up there in Chattanooga, which is about a couple hours away from here.
That's right. Hands up, chin down, my guy. Have a good time.
Yes, sir. There was something else that happened in sport karate, but I guess combat martial arts is Michael Venom Page fought.
Ooh, did you see it? Did you watch it? I watched it. I didn't
watch it, but I saw the highlight.
Oh, I watch all of our sport karate fighters fights live. I have to.
I saw the highlight.
You want me to hit it with a skip round kick?
Wow.
You know, we worked all day today.
You worked skip round kicks?
Oh, we did skip round kicks. I showed them the video. We watched. We did. Listen. This is what we
You
do.
let your kids see that?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't let them see the flat line or nothing like that. I let them watch the clip real quick. Wow, the skip round kick. I was like, ooh, you see that? Watch it do again. That's the same thing we do. That's the same reason. All right, we're doing that today. Yeah, that was it. Even though we're doing side kicks, whatever.
But yeah, karate, no. Right? So that was nasty. He won another fight. Congratulations to him. Los, did you see it?
I just saw the highlights. I didn't. I don't know how I missed it. I guess it came on Friday. I don't know how I missed it on Friday. I missed all those fights on Friday at Bellator. But they're on Showtime now too, right? It's not on. It's not like how it used to be. I think it was like TMZ. I can't remember what it was before, but then it was on DAZN for a little while. So now it's on Showtime. So I don't have Showtime. So I'm not pay for it to go watch it. No. RD's fighting.
True
enough. And that'd be the subscription for the 1 month, and I'm canceling it.
the free month.
Now we have the UFC ESPN
Fight Pass
app. So with the app, you get ESPN Plus. So we pretty much watch all the UFC stuff. But Bellator, if it's on Showtime, I don't think we have that app.
Yeah, I just didn't get a chance to see it. I remember him posting it earlier in the week that he was fighting, and I was like, oh, okay, he's fighting. Because that's the thing about these set matches. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of when somebody's actually going to fight. I lose track of when it's going to happen.
Like they don't really know. They don't really.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of build up to it. Like you mean like again,
right? Yes.
We didn't know. I mean, I didn't know who Rain was fighting until like the week of the fight.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like he's been training for the last 8-9 weeks. You get what I'm saying? Or even I'm sure Michael Page has been training for however long, and then you don't really know until he fought. Okay.
Yeah. See, I think what some of the problems that we're running into is people are having a hard time either staying healthy. We're having a bunch of stuff, so they're not really making a big advertisement for it, just in case anything falls through. I know
with UFC, they had like 3 fighters over the weekend that just took the fight a week's notice,
notice,
or things like that. So it's like they had a couple fighters that did that, and I'm like, man, how they pull that off?
Like,
you don't know who they were supposed to fight to begin with, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, they got this fight set up.
But also with Page, he always getting injured and pulling out, so he has a track record of not, if they start promoting it and then he's injured and he's not fighting at some point. So
does he? I thought it was only one.
He's done it a couple times.
A few years ago.
Yeah, but it's been 2 years because there ain't been too many fights the last couple of years.
I thought he's fought pretty consistently. I mean, since he lost to Douglas Lima.
Yeah, I think he's fought like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
he can just grapple.
He just grapple him. He's doing a grapple.
Grapples. It was grapples. That's all. I'm gonna get some grapples. That's what it was, people. Grapples.
Some grapples.
Exactly. Yeah, but no, he fought this weekend. Did anything else happen? The Canelo fight happened.
Oh my goodness. Oh my!
Yeah,
did you
that.
See that one too? I only caught the aftermath. I watched it, but I watched it after it happened, and I heard, "Oh my God, you got to see it."
Yeah, it wasn't that impressive of a fight, to be honest with you. The Canelo fight was not that impressive.
Because Canelo wasn't impressive, the fighter wasn't impressive, or just
both?
He just outclassed him.
No, he didn't. That's the thing. The announcers actually had Joe winning the fight like 4-2 or 4-3 in this round. So it wasn't like he was just killing the guy. I thought it was 3-3. So it wasn't like he was killing the guy. He just ended up catching him really nicely with that upper hook or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And just blasted the dude. So it wasn't like he was just outclassing the guy, but because the guy's style was a little in and out, kind of just in, out, slippery. He was moving a lot, but Canelo finally found him, caught him, and seeing exactly. But the first round, Canelo was just filling him out. Second and third round, I thought Canelo won. The fourth round, I believe the other dude won in the fifth round. And then the sixth round, Canelo was winning. So I had it 3-3, but it wasn't like it was just lopsided. He was just killing the guy. But
right.
So yeah, so I saw that fight.
Injury was gruesome.
Yeah, I saw the hit, and then I was like, he's not coming out, because I didn't think it was that bad until they talked about it afterwards and how he broke his face, basically.
Listen, every attachment point. So this thing is free floating in there. So that's crazy to me. I was looking at the injuries. They had the 3D X-ray or the imaging and all that stuff up. today online, and I was looking at it like, yeah, I'd have sat out too.
Is that similar to how Sage's face was? Where the points on his face were like broke, or was it just like I didn't know if it was okay
or something.
I thought Sage's was his orbital, his upper. This was like this zygomatic arch or whatever. He broke. He detached this whole little triangle from underneath the eye over here on the side, and then underneath the bottom where it connects. Like that whole thing could have just been like, whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
It looked rough. That was almost as bad as Cyborg's forehead getting dented in.
Well, see, that's the type of stuff that makes me not want to. I'm glad I'm not fighting anymore. I'm just chilling. I'm not back. I'm not out there. I don't feel like getting hit anymore. Like I thought about that. I was watching like Ngannou. He was throwing some punches.
Listen.
He threw. I can't remember. I saw one today, and he threw an uppercut and caught the guy, and his whole head went flying back.
Oh, that was Overeem. That was the Overeem.
Yeah.
One. Oh yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, I'm not trying. I'm glad I'm not fighting anymore. I'm relaxed.
First off, listen. In my prime, I wouldn't want to get hit by that dude.
No. Nah. So, anywho, all right. Anything else going on in combat sports arena? No. I don't think so. I didn't think so. All right, let's move on. So, I have a question for you, gentlemen.
What is it?
So I was thinking this past maybe a couple of weeks ago, and my brother was telling me how his enrollment had spiked, and all the kids that came in were coming in there were talking about Cobra Kai. And I told him, I said, yeah, Cobra Kai has been. He's like, yeah, Cobra Kai has been good for me. Blah blah blah. And I started thinking about it, and I remember I had a conversation with my uncle, and he was like, well, that's the history of our karate schools. Like Bruce Lee got a lot of people into martial arts. Bruce Lee movies. He said Karate Kid got a whole bunch of another influx. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whole influx of people coming in. To now, what is it? Cobra Kai that has this big influx of people going to martial arts schools, and it got me thinking of how one avenue is television and movies and entertainment feeds into it, but how can we get sport karate to feed into our tournaments?
Into our schools?
Into our schools, excuse me. Yes, into our schools. How can we do that? Because it's good if you get them in there, but is it going to actually is Cobra Kai going to keep people in there? One of the things about Cobra Kai was all about the All Valley Karate tournament. And so my thought process was like, all right, can we figure out a way to capitalize on that? And since you guys are school owners, and so I'm gonna let you guys answer that question, and I'll give my thought after.
Chris, you can go.
It's a hard pitch, to be honest with you. The experience, we got to get a better experience at our events at a consistent rate before I think we can have that trickle into it. I mean, we can try to pull the athletes, the really athletic kids who do, football, basketball, you can try to pull them and coerce them into coming over and doing ours. But at the end of the day, I think without any kind of what Los was talking about last week, another level, an end game to this, we're not going to keep those athletes because of scholarships, basketball scholarships, college scholarships. There's more, there's a bigger variety, and there's more to gain in the other ones. We have to find a way for sport karate to appeal, to stay with it. So, I mean, before I can ask for sport karate to help my school grow, like I lose more students with doing tournaments than I've ever gotten anybody. So, like, I think we're going to have to look at our product and make it something that people do want to go to, people are excited about going to, and something that, puts people like, I don't know. It's just hard for me. I don't think it's going to help get kids in our school right now. Sorry to be a downer.
Carlos Tierney.
So I believe it comes from your culture, right? So if you have a culture of a school that does competition, and that is what your school and the energy of what you do is about, then you're going to have kids that come into your school, and you're going to automatically be grooming them from the time they step into the school for that next competition that's coming up, right? So, like a Joey Greenall, he has a competition type of school per se. He may not have everyone going to competition, but he's training his people for that next level of competition. Corky Sykes used to kind of be the same way, and I believe there's a lot of other people out here that are kind of like that. That's the ones you see at the tournaments that maybe be bringing like their, a good 15 to 20 people, but even that 15 to 20 people is only a very small percentage of their student base, and sometimes, right? So you're talking maybe 5%, maybe less than 10% of your student base that's actually going to go out and compete. And I'll be honest, for me, I look at that 5 to 10% and I ask myself, this is my own personal, is it worth the time and energy that it takes to put into that 5 to 10% of people to get them out on that tournament circuit and get them competing, and then knowing that when they go, what is the product that they're going to get when they get there? How much am I going to have to be telling parents, oh, this is what you see, this is what's happening, this is why that's happening, and then how I'm just not going to understand it 1,000%, right? And then how many kids are going to have an experience that may not be an experience that I have to kind of come back and rebuild them up on. So as far as I go, I think your culture has to be about that. My culture is not about tournament competition. It's just not. So if we have an event and I have some kids going to it, we'll prepare them for it if it's something local, but we don't have anything local anymore right now either. We'll do some in-school stuff. And if there's something like, we go to Ski's event, I bring my sons out and stuff like that. I brought a couple of my kids out last time he had his event. But yeah, it's just, for me, I don't see Cobra Kai being something that's it's not like how it was in the 80s. And it's not like how it was in the 90s. It's a different type of person and different type of kids per se. So although they see that, they only see the fun part about it. They don't really understand what really goes into it when you get to a tournament. Like, you know what I mean? And even on TV, the TV may look way more organized. We just talked about how, you have Matt Action and you have Uventex going through whatever they're going through. Then you have what happened at was it KTO or TKO? That thing that happened
Texas, yeah.
That thing. So it's like those are things that are happening a lot that you don't see that on TV, right? So even a parent that's going into that perception and they're thinking that this is what a karate tournament is going to be like because of how it perceives itself on TV, it's just not how it is. Where in the 80s, what it kind of looked like on TV is kind of what you got when you got to the events.
In the montage pieces, like in Karate Kid, like there's a ton of people, there's a ton of fights, there's a bunch of stuff going on. It's not just that one-on-one. It's not, you know what I mean?
But I personally haven't watched Cobra Kai, but I did have a kid coming tonight. A little girl, she came in for her first lesson, knee up, good snapping kick. I mean, I was like, yo, this little girl, she's dope. She did her thing, right? Parents signed up and everything. And I told her mom, like, she did really, really well her first day, be able to understand how to do the chamber rounds, we call that type of stuff, how to do her kick. And she's like, yeah, man, she watched a lot of Cobra Kai. I was like, oh, all right, cool. Right? But I'm not thinking, all right, cool, let's get her in the karate tournament. I'm like, all right, cool. So she's going to watch it. And when she comes into it, she's doing a real thing. It's going to make her kind of grow into it. It's like a superhero she's becoming, or she feels like she's becoming a part of that story. And if that parent or someone that wanted to get into competition, and we'll have to sit down and have a conversation because there's a lot that goes into it. I know for me, when I invest into it, just because I know the level that we were able to get to, like I put a lot into it, right? And if I'm not getting that energy back,
that part, I thought you were going to hit it earlier when you said, they don't understand what it takes to be at the tournament. I was like, they really don't understand until they get into it is the work it takes to prepare to be at that tournament. Because that's a whole nother game.
I remember when I used to have my little competition team that I used to take out and stuff, right? And think about this. We go, we train, we do all this preparation for the stuff, and the kids get there, and they only have 5 kids in their division. Right? They've waited all day. Right? I remember one time I was at a tournament and my son and his group was like the 5 and 6-year-olds. They didn't start competing until 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
But it happens all the time. Yeah.
Now think about that. You have a 5 and 6-year-old who got there at 9 o'clock, and they don't start competing until that late time. Right? Again, this is not all events. I'm just speaking from events that I've had experience with my kids and with other students and things like that. So even
that's a lot of events.
Say it again.
That's a lot of events. Yeah.
And I was surprised. Or one time I went to an event and they had team fighting. They had junior team fighting, and the kids team fight didn't start until 10:30 at night.
Yeah,
like you can't like that type stuff.
A local event?
It was a local, like I want to say local. It was probably Ohio or something. I can't remember where it was, but it was something that was one of the things was like I brought a group there because they wanted to do a competition. I knew what it was like for me, and I go there. I'm like, this is not. I didn't want to subject someone else to what I allowed myself to go through.
Right.
To get to where I was able to get to. And that's only because I was committed. And I was committed as a junior. And again, when I started competing, it was like, the late 80s. I said the other day, 83 was my first event, my first karate tournament, right? So I have a trophy from there. So that time was different coming up as a kid. And that time was different in our dojos, right? And then my uncle pulled away from karate tournaments. So when he pulled away from karate tournaments, I still had that itch to want to go do it. So when I became an adult and I got my own vehicle, I just started hitting the road and just going to events just to go. You know what I mean? Then eventually things kind of, turned into what they turned into. But that's how I got into it, because we were competing heavy and then we weren't. And then I was like, I still want to go out and do it because I was young and I feel like I could still get it out there. But it's just different now. It's not like even how I was when I was coming up for kids. At least I don't believe so.
I agree. It's not the same as when we were coming up.
I went too long. I apologize, but
no. So
you hit a lot of great points in there, though.
But the thing is,
you said it better than I did.
Let me ask this question.
Okay.
Is it that you don't want to subject your kids to what you went through, or is it that you don't feel like going through it again?
I don't feel like going through it again.
Both. honest to God, is both. I love the sport. I still go to tournaments. I help out. I judge. I do a bunch of stuff. Occasionally, I'll get out there and compete.
You guys are. I said it last week, right? I'm just kind of getting back into the fold of things, right?
Right.
There was a reason why I wasn't as active or out or everything, because I always looked at my time, and I'm gonna go back. I learned to value my time more.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And, when we were coming up, and it was part of the time going to competition was just being able to be with you guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I'm going to a weekend for an event, not only am I going to have an event, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be with my boys. We're going to hang out. We're going to have a good time, whatever. So that was like a part of it for me. Right. Now I was like, well, I can go to a tournament and see Chris, or I could just go to Chris's house.
Right. We could just meet up and link up and go do something for real.
Yeah. Like, you mean like that? So now it's a different place for me, right? So, and my kids haven't. If my kids would have taken to it a little bit more, I probably would have been more going
involved
hard for them too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my kids would compete here and there. My oldest son, he would compete every once in a while, but he wasn't committed to
the scene and the grind and everything else. Yeah.
He wasn't committed to what the behind the scenes I had to take to get there. Right.
Right. The grind.
My youngest son is super talented. Right. But he gets hit. He don't want to compete no more. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. But it's like, man, we traveled like all this time. Like, Daddy spent all this money. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you better go hit that little boy back.
Yeah, you better. We got to do something.
We don't got to go to the next one, but you got to do something right now.
Or when we get back, you have to prepare yourself for the next one you want to go, because they always want to go. You get what I mean? But they don't want to put the work into getting there. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe because I'm their coach or whatever. Maybe I needed somebody else. But that's where I'm at, though. Like you said, it's not so much just the time that the kids have to put into it. It's the time I have to put into it. And I truly am to a point in my life now where I value my time, and I pick and choose how I want to spend it and use it.
So, is there a way? Like I said before, how we started is there a way?
Yes.
To get tournaments to be feeders into your school? Because if you think about it from the standpoint of that, the tournament could be a promotional tool for your school. Like, if we built up the local scenes around and promoted the actual events as being an event and more organized, I'm just curious, could that, like AAU basketball? A lot of the reason people play basketball is because they have a dream of playing college or getting to the pros. Like Chris said earlier, there's a goal, there's something there, right? That's people that we talk about and we talk about. So is there a way to get those tiers to the point where those things are fueling, right? So a lot of MMA schools are thriving because their hopes of getting to the UFC or Bellator or wherever to do that. But a lot of those schools are thriving now because of what they saw at the UFC, and trying to do that. So my thing is, can we get to a point where there is a competition that is promoted in the correct way that feeds into everybody's school?
That's what Pro Point is supposed to be. That's what Virtual Fight Tour is supposed to end up being. Like that's
what World Combat League was supposed to be. That's what these Karate Combat I thought was gonna have a little segue.
All right,
in there.
so now let me get to this.
Pants and belts, and you know what I mean. That seemed like it would have had a little bit of more of a chance.
So I'm going to ask this question then. So at what point did Pro Point or Virtual Fight Tour do a massive school promotion?
When did they do it?
Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, did they do promotions at karate schools? Did they reach out to people at karate schools to promote their event?
I think they reached out, but I think both of them reached out to the fighters that they had on the card to reach out to their schools and to their community. Like I think it was Pro Point that did. I think they got like a percentage of however many people.
I believe so. Yeah.
They sold, how many tickets they sold. That's what I was going to say. Amateur MMA events does the same thing. As a fighter, you can't get paid, but these tickets are X amount of dollars. You sell X amount of tickets. You get certain percentages based on how many tickets you sell. So you can sell 100 tickets at $10 and make money.
I used to fight here, and they used to like those who want to come out and fight and da. Listen, I already know what I'm bringing. So
50 people.
You're gonna give me more than that 10%.
Right. Listen, You know that it was very quick in my amateur career where I lived, that I fought like on the third fight, my very first fight. And after my fight, like 70% of the crowd was gone.
Yeah.
So he knew I had to be co-main event or main event from the rest of the time on just for the crowd. Cause but we don't do that in sport karate. You don't need me, but at that moment, I was the draw. But so we gotta find a way to.
You're right. So I'm saying our bloodline is our karate schools is like our bloodline. That is where the majority of people make their money. That's where we started everything. This is where we're from. But I always see there's a disconnect between sport karate and karate schools. Like there is a disconnect there, and I'm trying to figure out a way to connect the two, because if we connect the two, then the sport will grow as well as our karate schools grow. Because otherwise, we're going to be doing the same thing. And I think that's where everything went wrong in the 90s. I'm not going to tell that.
What is your plan?
If you think I'm telling it here on CTE.
I feel like this has been a conversation for like the last 12 years, 15 years.
Longer than that. Probably since the 90s, to be honest with you.
So, again, you have someone like I use Corky Sykes because I know he had like an actual competition-based school.
Yes.
Right. And he would have 40 to 50 kids on his competition team that will go out and compete in local events and, national events, whatever they're able to do. So what was in it for them? Super Grands? That was it. Like it was the world, that world body. Is it WKC? Is it WACO? Like what is it? Like what is, I would say the only way that the sport will be able to take itself to the next level and have a higher up end is the Olympics. And even that, what is that Olympic style of sport karate going to be? Because that's the only you're not gonna have a pro level sport karate that is like how the basketball and baseball and all its other sports that have feeders that have the hope. It's really just the hope, right? There's nothing about karate tournaments that gives you hope. Like, let me go back. It's a small niche of people that say, I hope to win the diamonds one year, or I hope to be on stage, or I hope to do this. It's a small niche of people. And those are the people that are in that arena. But if you take that arena now, you put it up into the Olympics, now that's something that everybody can strive for, making that USA Olympic team and now doing all the little tournament things to build up for that.
It's always going to be a small niche.
Say it again.
It's always going to be a small niche. It's always going to be a small niche at the
So
top
what's
level.
the question then? How is that going to help a school grow?
I'm saying no. I'm not saying that if we are in the Olympics, that it's not going to help people grow. Well, partly it probably won't because the Olympic Committee and it's going to be a whole bunch of. It's going to be a.
That's to get to the Olympics. That's not the average everyday person seeing that martial arts is in the Olympics. There's a difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
the difference. That's the difference. I don't think that a lot of people are looking for. I'm not looking if karate makes it to the Olympics, or when karate gets to the Olympics this year or whatever. I think right.
I don't know if they're still doing it, but yeah, go ahead.
I think they're supposed to do it in 2021. I think their karate's still in it. It's only the spectator sport this year. It's out next time. They got breakdancing in instead.
It's just forms.
Yeah. Again. They only have certain elements,
right? So, like again, so what are you talking? When you say sport karate, Travis? What?
I'm talking about all of it. I'm not just talking about fighting.
So what would it be then? Because right now it looks like the forms probably has a higher platform than us as fighters had.
They have the same platform. They're not promoted either. They're not. There's no league for forms people. They jump. As soon as they win a couple overall. The next, they're in movies. That's their thing. Like they're going.
So they have something.
I didn't hear what he said, Chris. What did he say?
I said once they are on, once they win a couple grands, they move on to movies.
I didn't hear. Say it again.
Stunts.
What did he say? What did he say, Chris?
Stunts and movies. They have something to go to.
Exactly.
Again, I'm on the same page with you. Forms and weapons guys have a better shot.
So you want to go with the
something.
fighters? Then the fighters go on to the Bellator. They go on to doing MMA.
But then why would you again? No disrespect. If my goal is to go to MMA, why am I going to start at a karate school if my goal is to be in Bellator or UFC with all of these jiu-jitsu gyms, all of these MMA spots? You don't think I didn't capitalize? I do jiu-jitsu.
Because that's what your parents put you into. Your parents put you into it, and then
what are the parents? But what are the parents? But what are the parents seeing?
Or whatever else.
Okay, but what are the parents seeing to make them come to a karate school versus a boxing gym, an MMA gym, or jiu-jitsu school?
That's my point. The difference is that people aren't parents don't bring them into to karate schools to be in karate tournaments. My thing is that a kid may want to do karate tournaments. And that way we can actually promote the tournament so people to know that Cobra Kai is promoting tournaments.
Then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to, like Los already said it, you're going to have to build a culture. So when you have that culture, pick 3 tournaments or 4 tournaments a year to have a watch party, to put up a projector in your school and to show them this is why we do this. This is the work that we put in. You have to do that and build that.
You can't just show them that because that's not all the stuff that's happening.
No. I understand that. You have to get them excited into seeing that these are the things that we do in our school. If you work harder than, what you're doing, you have to put in the effort like you do at a football game, like you do at a baseball game. Show them that there's a game at the end of it. There's a competition at the end of it. And I think we do need to put that as a culture, but we're losing them with the product. So why am I putting a culture into something where I'm losing the kids on the back end with the product that we have now? So my thing is we have to fix the product that we have now and the customer service that we have now and all these inner wars and all this look out for me and my group and my money and my side and what's pulled us apart for all these years. When we had Budweiser as a sponsor, we can go back into what we used to have and what we did as a community versus me pulling away, why we have such customer service that we have now in our industry.
Well,
that's why I don't bring people out as much because I don't know what I'm going to get and I don't want to lose my students.
The reason why you had that stuff back in the 80s was because you had Karate Illustrated in the Black Belt magazine. There's a publication that is creating stories that are creating a buzz about the tournament to make people want to go to these actual events. Once NASCA took over and it all became about NASCA and not really promoting the actual sport, it changed everything. Everything switched. So what I'm saying is I'm going back to that. There has to be a way for us to promote that we have tournaments and that make a connection. There was a disconnect at that point because some people, like you said, people had a goal back in the 80s and 70s about getting ranked and being in a magazine. They could show their friends that they're number 2 or 1 or whatever in their region or whatever, and they have some kind of bragging rights. Right now, who won 2017 Diamonds. A lot of people may not know who that person is. They may not even know until like you try and figure it out. But it's not like a publication that tells you. It's no network that's telling you everything that's going on and stuff like that. And it has this whole thing that helps everybody to track of what everything that went on. So I'm just looking at it from a standpoint. There's a disconnect that could happen. But right now, it's so many different things that are in the way to stopping it. So anyway, people, let us know what y'all think about this topic, because I think this was actually a good topic. We got into all three of us had different opinions or similar opinions, but a little bit different. So let us know anything. You guys got anything else? Because it's 46 minutes. I didn't know we were going to go this long, but whatever.
Nah, I don't.
No, I agree. Same thing. No, I mean, it'd be nice. I'd love it.
It would be. But I also think that what Los's sentiment of what he did was basically saying like, hey, Lo, I'm out. I'm tired of this. I don't want to be around this. I did this. I don't want to see my kids compete and then be done at 10:30. And the other thing that is a problem that a lot of people don't want to talk about is that when an instructor goes there to a karate tournament and then they have to judge, and they can't take care of the kids that they brought there. You know what I mean? Like they need
that way you can assure that there's going to be a good customer service, so there's going to be a good experience and walk them through it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's an issue. That's a real issue.
You got Saturday classes still, and
you got Saturday classes. So it's a lot that goes into what.
You mean like you have a kid that's like kind of like their first or second event, and they got to compete and stuff, and you're judging because you're trying to help the sport
grow,
and because you don't want to be there all day.
But yeah, that too, right? Because they're asking for judges. You're like, well, I can judge, but so yeah, exactly. So your student goes and competes, and all you can ask is say, how did it go?
How did you do? Yeah, how'd you do?
How'd it go? How'd you do? Right? And I wasn't able to see it. I wasn't able to, you know what I mean? And like, no matter how much I prepare, no matter how much we prepare, those kids and those families, in theory, need us to be available to them. You get what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I think I understand the question that you're asking, Travis. I think it's still a hard task.
It's calculus.
It's a hard task to try to make happen.
Advanced.
And like I said, I think that the greatest hope that we have at this moment is the Olympics and what they do with that. I get what you're saying as far as Bellator and MMA and things like that, but really, how many people from our sport has gone there and actually was from our sport without doing anything else when they was able to do it, right? Raymond, he had to go. He was doing kickboxing. He had to get his grappling. He had to do all the other stuff, but he had to do all that. He couldn't just go right from karate into that arena.
Correct. He tried that.
Mike.
Yeah, didn't go well.
Michael Page couldn't do it. Stephen Thompson couldn't do it. They all had to get that other type of background. So as Chris was saying, is like if my kid was excited about what he sees on TV, whether it be UFC and this, I'm gonna put him in there. But what you're saying as well is the Cobra Kai, and I haven't watched Cobra Kai, so I can't really reference it. But if
you saw the Karate Kid, the first Karate Kid, right?
Yeah.
It's basically I'm not gonna say a reimagining of it, but it's very similar, but a more modern day twist to it. So it's very similar.
Are they fighting with no gloves on and no helmet?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes, that's why.
That's the reality of our sport.
Right. It's different. Like, I don't understand why y'all
they don't do forms and weapons and stuff, do they? They just fight, right? As I haven't
only fought so far.
Yeah. I've only seen season 1 and 2.
Kid 3, they talked about doing kata. Like so I don't.
They do Sayuchin. Come on,
how they
man.
haven't brought that aspect into it. So I'm curious as to we got to talk to Jo and be like, yo, Jo, tell them to put some forms in there and do something to show that it's a different side. I mean, and they have it from the standpoint of that there are some different people who are.
See, so even that doesn't really represent what you're talking about as far as our sport goes.
Karate.
You know what I mean? Like it's a
one aspect
tournament.
But I'm saying neither does Ninja Turtles.
Like, you know what I mean?
Neither does Turtles had weapons, punching, kicking, and fighting. They practiced in the air. They had a
tournament.
They didn't have to do it in a tournament to get kids excited about punching and kicking and doing weapons. That's
I'm
what
just
brought them
saying,
to the karate school. You don't need the karate tournament to get people into karate. That's
no,
the
I'm
thing.
saying that's another
The
avenue.
TV show. Oh, okay.
I'm saying that's an avenue that should be there, like to help keep people interested in doing karate.
Yes.
Because I know
Karate
that was
tournament,
something
not
that
karate.
made me interested. I probably would not have been in karate as long as I had been if there was no competition. I would have
Because
felt
you came up in a different era, bro. Like
Correct.
but
you're talking 15 to 20 people, not the masses.
right, but we didn't have 15 to, well, we still had 15 to 20 people that would go to karate tournaments, but they didn't go everywhere that we went. Like the truly dedicated ones that were going everywhere were me, Willie, Ski, you know, the ones who did it when we were adults.
So how does that 5 help my school grow?
That's my point. If yes,
What's
look,
the
so you miss. I think you missing what I'm saying. I'm saying is we do not take the avenue to help it grow. Let's say I come back with a karate tournament. I win a tournament and I come back, right? You bring me up and show my tournament. I won this tournament, right? I show my medals or my trophy. The kids that are actually there may want to do tournaments now, right? Because they want to get that trophy, right? They actually will at that point, they may bring their grandma, their cousin, or the whoever else to a karate tournament while they're there, right? And know that those other kids who came with them may actually want to do tournaments or in karate because they saw these kids doing size and swords and flipping and doing all this other crazy stuff, right? So now they want to do it too. So now they come to your school to actually want to do it. Back in 2016, when I had my event here, this is something that and makes me want to do this again, that I'm going to do again. I had my event here, right? And I went to the school and they were like, hey, we'll do it. I think if you make a donation like $250 to the girls basketball team, we'll do the concessions. I said, cool. So they had their kids and some of their relatives were there when we had our event. At the end of it, they came up to me and said, how can my kid do this? How can they get into doing this? Because they saw the fights, they saw the forms, and they were just intrigued because they had never seen it before. They had never seen any kind of type of competition where people were doing this type of stuff before, and they wanted to do it. And I said, well, there's different schools that are represented here from different sides of the town. You could talk to some of the different instructors here, blah, blah, blah. Even the EMT guy said the same thing. He said, yeah, I got my kid. He's not here, but he would love to do this. So how can I said, no, I'm saying that it's a way to do it based off of presentation of how we're doing it, but we're not promoting it because there's so many bad things that we keep talking about.
Yeah, so I would say for our area, we don't really have anything as far as competition goes, right? So you guys down south, you guys still have a pretty decent bed of competition down there, right? Our last event that we had here in New York that was kind of like a regional event was a Smack International, right? And that was like really the only event that we had up here. Because everything just started kind of dwindling and just not happening, right? So we don't even have the access to that. So I get what you're saying as far as, you know, showing the trophies. Like we have trophies in our hair now, and people are like, oh, where'd you win this from? Where's that from? And they are intrigued by it, but there is no place for us in this moment for them to go out to, right? And I know myself, I don't want to do a tournament. I did it.
I was about to say,
I did it for 2.5 years. And you know what? Let me go back. I'm not going to say I don't want to do it. If I were to do it, I would do it in how I feel is the best for the people that are coming, right? So what I did, I had an all kids tournament. We literally started at 9:00 and everybody was out of there by 1:30, right? And it was beautiful. We probably had maybe 120 competitors, so it wasn't like a big event, but it was enough where the kids came in, they got to compete. We had our little ones and everything. So it was like, but I was able to control that whole environment, right? I had everything set up. And if that part I liked, when I ran the New York State Games for the SKIL, I didn't like that.
Right.
That just was not my thing. We did well with it, but it just was not my thing. So go ahead.
One of the things I was going to ask is, what would it take for people in your areas, different schools in your area, to not just do an all kids league? Like, just not even do, because technically you're not making your money off the black belts or the adults. You're not getting them to come into your school. That's not the feeder. But the kids, would be the feeder for your school.
Yeah.
So like if you ran an all kids underbelt, whatever you want to call it, school.
I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. Java had a tournament, the Syracuse Open. And I think that was the last time we went, and I believe we took like 12 to 13 kids there. First time I ever took that many kids to an event, because it was Java, and it was local here. So he did have a local event, and it was pretty well done.
That's what I was saying. But if we just did all kids like you, Java, Richie, and whoever else, and whoever else up there in New York or even in Canada or across the border, and just that little 2-hour span of window or whatever, and just do like 4 tournaments. And that's all I'm really saying is like you did 4 tournaments a year. I mean, that's all you really need. You don't really need to. You don't need to do like 17 tournaments every other weekend.
I will be honest, and I will go back and say that is something I thought about kind of creating, was a CNY, which is Central New York, like little circuit of like 4 events. And at the end of the year, you had your CNY, Central New York champion or whatever. To build that type of thing that you're talking about, as far as something for the kids. So to make a long story short, after 56 minutes, yes, it is possible if it's done right, right?
Correct.
And if it's done right, for me, not that I have to be in control, but I have to have like-minded people.
Yes.
That are looking for the same
goals are the same. Everybody's goal is the same.
Everybody's goal is the
some
same.
People can look at just their own way that they want to do it, but it has to be the bigger picture of what it is that you want to try to create, right? So if I were to do it, that will be the only way that I will allow myself to get back in it. If that was if I had the right mindset of people that was all on top of what they had to do, like paying, like, you mean, just who's doing, everyone has their roles, we're all shooting for the same thing, and that would be the only way I would be able to do it. Other than that, I want no parts of it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I commend. I think Jeremy does a good job down there with USA
They're
Sport
doing great.
Yeah, I think he does a really good job
with his Blitz
there.
League, and then the other half of that is Dave Scalar. And I was going to say,
you guys are talking about dude. If NASCAR folds or whatever happens with NASCAR and somebody else can come in, like, these guys are building their own little grassroots
of
what they're doing. I think it's great. It's great.
But
I think they have the right mindset, man. They have the right.
Well, listen, you got 2 guys. Again, Dave Scalar is the other guy in that group with the USA Sport Karate. He ran Kick, which is Kids in Competition Karate, and that's all it was. For the longest time, there were no 18+ competitors. For years, they ran just kids. They had grand champion for sparring, so beginner fought intermediate, advanced fought black belt, and the 2 winners fought each other for an overall grand. Like, they did big things, and they've been doing big things for years. Them 2 hardworking dudes.
Yeah,
and then Jeremy's got the vision. Dave has had the roots, and he's had everything, and he's ran it, and he's done it successfully. And then Jeremy's doing the same thing, and he's looking to the future. And now they're merging together. I'm really excited for Florida.
Yeah.
Like,
So
we've always had a big karate.
As a whole, if that's what you're speaking of, and if that is a true example of what you're talking about right there.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And what they're creating. And so let me go back, and everything that I said, I don't want to just like disregard it, but that is the energy that I would want to have my kids and my students seeing, experiencing, and being a part of. Right.
Right.
And we don't have that here. We haven't had that here in quite a while in our area. So when I say I don't want to go and be in these events, because it's just that's just what was missing for me. Like, you mean that type of, and maybe because I wasn't, even when they were trying to do it here that time with the Canes and the people that were kind of doing it here, I didn't allow myself to jump in it at that time. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, part of the reason why I didn't jump into it at that time, because again, you had everybody kind of doing their own thing and going their own way. And maybe I can only see this person's vision, but the other visions are not meshing with what I would want for my students to experience in competition.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
yes, that
would be why I pulled myself away from it and not allowed myself to get more involved back then. Like, you get what I'm saying? Or the last, 6 or 7 years ago, is when it was probably at its peak going around here.
Okay. All right. Well, all right, let's get out of here. We're at an hour.
We hit that hour, baby. I see it.
He said it was gonna be short.
We was done at 46 minutes, and here we go.
Yeah. But you know what? I know people are captivated by our voices and what we say and everything. So I said it was gonna be real chill, and it kind of wasn't. But so we'll see y'all next week, people. Make sure you guys listen to Fish Kicks and Flicks. Tomorrow, I think they have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2
Secret
with
of the Ooze.
special guest Jeff Doss will be on there tomorrow, and Fish and Inside Scoop this week. I cannot remember who they're supposed to have on. I cannot remember. But make sure you guys listen to Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. They do have a guest, but I cannot remember who it is. Other than that, Chris, you got anything? Los, you got anything you want to say?
I'm good. We out.
Appreciate y'all for listening. 101.
Yes, sir. We are out of here. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Cat burning up the street, popping and we heard it up the street. It's a war, looking running up the score. Jesus said that you should turn the other cheek. Once it's getting dead, we dead bodies smell the odor in the street. My homie got out on parole. He's on my Coca-Cola in the soda industry. Summertime bring the coldest winter breeze. Hella blues like the rolling 60s. Christ went to heaven age 33, and so did Pimp C and so did Nipsey.